Okay, morning Dave, happy World FM Day.
Happy World FM Day, Nikki.
So thank you very much for joining us today as part of the IWFM celebrations for World FM Day. If you can start off by introducing yourself, your name, company role and what your company does, please.
Yeah, no problem. My name's David Richards. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Bellrock Group. Bellrock Group are one of the technology-led FM providers within the marketplace. And I've been at the business for 7 years now.
Excellent, good stuff. So this year's theme for World FM Day is Standing Tall Through the Pandemic. What would you say has been your biggest challenge helping your clients through the pandemic this year?
Oh, dear me. I think for everybody it's been very difficult. But I suppose for us, it's the challenges around certain industries. We've had the retail and leisure industry and the challenges there with our customers where they've had to close the doors and they've had no revenue coming in. We've had to shut down buildings, help them through quite difficult times. And then on the flip side, we've been keeping hospitals and mental institutions, primary care centres working. And that's put an incredible strain on, I think, the individuals of the business, because around not just the customers, but our staff as well. So you've had people that's been on furlough because a lot of their work's taken away. And then on the flip side, you've had an engineer or a cleaner or a manager that's in a hospital that's been, working all the hours and supporting the key workers. And that's been really challenging. And I think for me, just those vastly different needs around the country at the time of the challenges. I think taking that up one level, I think managing the mental health of all of our staff, has been it's something I think we've done really well, but it's been challenging because I think people have been hugely affected on a personal level and a working level on within their life. And we've seen that for the guys working in schools, in hospitals, in the retail sector, all around. And it's been a really challenging time, but I think that's been the biggest challenge, is balancing the very different needs of all the customers and then balancing the morale and the hearts and minds of the staff.
Yeah, I think because there's such a massive disparity in between the two, people are either all flat out and feel burnt out, or they're at home and feeling quite isolated. And I think obviously with most businesses at the moment, that's got to breed a little bit of animosity towards each other and that. So trying to keep that balance and keep the team together, it's not an easy task, is it, at all? And especially obviously when you guys are growing so fast, you've had a couple of acquisitions and everything as well. So things are pretty full on at Bellrock at the moment, aren't they? So
that's right. We've managed to balance things really well, I think, and I know. I think what we've had to do is look at everybody from a personal level and just say, well, how are they actually feeling at this moment in time? Because for me, one of the biggest things is a lot of people that, the normality of their life changed. I haven't been on holiday. I normally love my holidays, and going golfing with my friends and going away with my wife. I've not done any of that. Now you transcend that into all the other people. And nobody's had that downtime, that relaxation. People haven't seen the families. People haven't seen certain relatives. People have not been seeing friends. People might not be going down the pub. And the healthy work-life balance thing has gone out the window for some people. And that's one thing we always talked about in FM, about getting the work-life balance. And then for the last 14 months, that's gone out the window. So we've learned to cook probably better, and we might have we've learned to do exercises that we didn't think we had, and the doctor surgeries are full of people that's done Joe Wicks workouts and injured Achilles and knees. I know 2 people that's out of action through Joe Wicks. So I think it's all been it's been a steep learning curve for us all.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things that Bellrock are known for, and that's their flexibility and their approach. How has this benefited you and your clients through the pandemic?
I think the biggest thing I call out about our flexibility is the technology platforms have really helped us to be flexible. So when you have an operational call center that is live taking calls across all your different clients, to have that suddenly unavailable and shut down is quite a challenge. But the technology platform we operate on, which is our own Concerto, we're able to put people at home and they were able to log in and take calls as though they were anywhere else in the world. So I think the revelation for me has been technology and these wider platforms like Teams, etc. But having everything based in the cloud for us has been a real benefit, because people have had access and availability to everything they need and have been able to work remotely without any problems at all. But I also think that one of the things we pride ourselves on as a business is what I call dexterity, that nimbleness, the ability to make quick decisions and change direction if we need to, and not go through really complex governance processes. We are heavily governed, but I think for us as a C-suite or across our board, we're very close and heavily involved with the day-to-day operations. So just to be able to call a meeting and make a decision and change has really helped us. And actually knowing that we've got certain offices around the UK, we've been able to keep them open, we've been able to keep our staff safe, and we've been able to keep everybody really productive with our tech platform. That's been, I think, the key piece. We never thought we'd rely on it so much, but I think the last 14 months has really hit that home, and we've been really pleased with how it's performed.
Yeah, I suppose you're probably really grateful for the fact that that is fully under your control as a business, and that you're not relying on a third-party contractor either. So
that's been
lucky there.
that's been hugely important for us. I can't understate that. The ability to be able to say, right, we need to change something, and have your own developers go write it and do that has been absolutely massive for us. Yeah. So we didn't realise, as I said, we would rely upon technology. None of us would, or everybody in the world didn't realise that the only way people would see the grandkids or see the friends would be through a screen all the time. And we've managed to do that. So on a personal level and a business level, I think the technology has been the revelation throughout this whole pandemic.
Yeah, brilliant. So final question from me then, Dave. What advice would you give to FMs that work for companies that are nervous about bringing people back into their buildings?
That's a really good question. So I'm in our Leicester office today, and it's one of the first times that, even though I've been in and out of some of our other hub offices, this is the first time a group of us are in here, kind of working normally, I would say.
Yeah.
And the key thing for me is about, if you want people to understand some normality, you've got to win the hearts and minds. This is in everything in life, in my view. They have to understand it, that in the mind it's the right thing to do. You have to make them feel safe, but you have to win emotionally. You have to win them over, because there's two sorts of people I'm coming across at the moment. There's the people that's like, let's just get on with it, let's just crack on, and wants to forget that it ever happened, which is fine, and that's a great positive attitude. But we can't be careless. We have to come out of this properly. So you have to follow the protocols. And then there's other people that are incredibly nervous. And my advice is, one size will not fit all. You have to really think about the different sorts of people and the different sorts of emotions that they will be showing. You have to be empathetic to that. And you're going to have to put your arm around people, not physically, of course.
That's a whole
virtually
altogether.
And you're going to have to take them on that journey and say, look, it's okay. Because certain people, I was on a train on Friday going into London for the first time, and I was the only person in the carriage, and I had my mask on, and then somebody bought me a bacon sandwich, and it was great. And I was a little bit nervous going to London. I was thinking, I've not been to London for quite a while. And bear in mind, I'm a northerner, so going to London's quite a big thing, at the best of times. But it was interesting, because then a lot of people got on the train at Peterborough, and all of a sudden I took a step back, and I'm a real confident, positive person. I thought, how many people's going to get on? Oh dear, is everything going to be okay? Now, if somebody that's not worried is thinking like that, imagine somebody that used to get on a bus or a train every day to go to work, and then you're saying, right, the office is open or the workspace is open and you've got to be there. Then that might be nervous for them. But then the other thing that I get is, there are some of those people that said, well, I've been working from home. There's been nurses, engineers, cleaners, orderlies, teachers that have had to work throughout. So we've got to be careful with some people and not bring them back in too quickly. But also we've got to think about, actually, people in supermarkets, they've been stacking shelves and working throughout. Yeah. So they didn't have the opportunity to say, oh, I'm going to work from home or I don't want to come in. People in the hospitals didn't have that same opportunity. So there's a real fine balance here. So bringing people back into the workplace, I think you've got to be empathetic and you've got to coax people in with their hearts and minds. But eventually, you've got to point out that there's been a lot of people out there that have actually had no choice and they've had to, grin and bear it for the last 14 months. And the only way to get out of it is to start moving forward. We don't want to continue like we are. And the thing is, if people are okay to want to go on holiday or go to the pub, then they're okay to come back into the workplace as well. So you've got to blend the personal and the business thing together. So that's going to be the biggest challenge. That would be my advice. Treat everybody slightly different and don't do a one size fits all.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us for World FM Day. It's been a pleasure doing the interview with you, Dave. I wish you and Bellrock every success, and thank you ever so much for coming on today. Have a great World FM Day.
You too. Enjoy. Thank you. Take care.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.